Well, the worst of it hit during the night. Branch is still up there. The little flood sump there, it's got water in, but it's not full. There's a flash flood warning that came in at about 3 o'clock this morning and is running until about 9:30. It's now 8 o'clock. This is day 2 of a hurricane at Disney World. In fact, it's not a hurricane anymore, it's a tropical storm. Huh. But that little sump has done very well. The water level there is not much higher than it was last night. And obviously there's still quite a lot. I don't know how much that shows on camera, but there's still a good few feet that could fill up. It's still raining a heck of a lot. I'm under a shelter right now. Oh, and it's still a little bit windy. But we're alright. The eye of the storm tracks south of Orlando, which was the best case scenario we could have hoped for, really. It didn't come straight through us. So we got a lot of wind and rain through the night. I didn't manage to get a shot of it because it was really dark. Didn't lose power at any point. That was something that I know some people were worried about. Yeah, we rode it out. It was nowhere near as bad as it could have been here at Disney World. So that's good. The issue now is flooding. A lot of Orlando and Kissimmee are experiencing some pretty nasty floods. We obviously are not, as you can see. There's nothing particularly worrying in terms of floods. Bits of tree on the ground over there. Still a lot of wind and rain to come. We've now got the other side of it. So the eye tracked about 40 miles south of Orlando. We've now got the other side of the hurricane, well, major tropical storm now, still coming round. So we're going to get a lot of rain today. The parks are staying closed. As far as I'm aware, the food courts are staying closed until further notice. I'll keep an eye on Disney's website for updates for that one. But yeah, it was a nasty storm, but not as nasty as it could have been. Interestingly, it does seem to have stopped my magic band from working. Oh, it flashed then. It's not working. So I don't know if that's my magic band or the or this thing took a bit of a battering last night.
Now it's gone.
Yeah. It's about 10:30 now. Still raining. Just come out to have a little wander around and see what's going on. Lots of branches and leaves on the floor all the way around. I imagine Disney will be doing a bit of clean up when it's safe to do so. I expect they'll start up by the food courts and stuff like that, and then head this way. Reagan was going to come out, but there's absolutely no way she'll be able to get around these paths on her scooter with all these branches everywhere. A towel, optimistic. There's a few people out, just kind of milling about, not very many. No one's silly enough to come out in this weather. I'm just going for a little wander around to see if there's any major damage or anything to put in this vlog that might be interesting. The wind has pretty much stopped now. There's just rain and it's not too bad at the moment. I mean, it's there, it's happening, but it's not mega heavy. They're fishing debris out of the pool over there, which means they probably intend to get the pool open. Get some photos while I'm here too. Looks like this section has already been swept. There's only a few leaves and branches here, stuff over at the side. Large puddle here. Reports coming in from across the resort. Contemporary has had a few panels blown off the side of it, and we're seeing lots of flooding reports coming in from all over Orlando. Looks like, yeah, Universal had a bit of trouble. The top of International Drive's very wet, and the I-4 is flooded as well. But as far as All-Star Music goes, it looks like minimal cleanup is required, just these branches and leaves. The fountain's on in the main pool. I'll point out this is still officially a tropical storm. It really doesn't feel like one at the moment. This is no worse than the rain we've had in the parks. We've had much worse rain than this in the parks, to be fair. The parks are still closed, I assume for damage assessment and clean-up. And see, down here has already been cleaned up. As far as the path goes, very few leaves and branches on this section. And it actually looks like the food court is open. I don't think the automatic door is working. And the pool's looking alright. Yeah, so you can see here the difference where this bit hasn't been swept of leaves and branches, and they're just all over the place. I'm going to go see how things are looking in here.
Thank you.
The drinks are clearly okay. Food court is closed, no breakfast available, but it does look like they are prepping to open soon. The arcade is open. Colouring down here in the lobby. And there's an update on that A-board over there, so I'm going to have a look at that. See what the queue's like for reception. Not too bad. There we go. Shop's opening at 11:30. Bar's opening at 12. Few people about down here. I'm going to tell them about the door issue. Yeah, so I have reported the issue with our door. They'll get someone up there to fix it as and when. Obviously maintenance are a bit busy at the moment, but they'll get to it, which is good. Food court looks like it's about to open, and the sign said shop and bar are opening. So it looks like it's going to be just another day at All-Star Music once that happens. Shame the parks are still closed, because this weather would be fine to be in a park. Obviously they need to clean them up, so it's understandable. Cleaning up an entire theme park, some of which may be underwater, is obviously a big job, so I can understand why they're staying closed today. But hopefully that is the end of the stormy weather. There is the potential of, once the storm gets back over the water, it throwing some more from the Atlantic Ocean on the east coast of Florida over us, because we're still within the whatever it's called, the spinny bit, but it's just a tropical storm now and no longer a hurricane, and it's not forecast to pick up any more strength. So if we trust the forecasts are accurate, we should be okay. Definitely nice to be out here, just get some fresh air. and assess the situation. It really doesn't look like All Star Music was hit too bad at all, which is great. I'm keeping an eye on the Disney forums and Twitter and everything else to see what the damage is like elsewhere on property. I've got a friend currently staying in Wilderness Lodge, so I'll try to get a report from her and see what the issue up there looks like. Obviously they're right next to Bay Lake, so there could have been some issues with the water level rising. I'll message her in just a minute. But yeah, looks like we've come through relatively unscathed. Well, we've come back out of the room now. It looks like a lot more cleanup has been happening. There are still a few sticks and leaves about the place. Reagan's just gone over and done some laundry. We're flying home tomorrow, but there we are. So now we're going back over to the lobby and back to the shop. Pretty much just to get out of the room, something to do. A lot of Orlando is flooded. It looks like pretty much every off-ramp for the I-4. So don't know how tomorrow is going to look for our flight home. The airport is still closed at the moment, but potentially opening. Well, they plan to open at some point tomorrow. The problem is going to be getting to it, because from what I can gather, the Sunshine Flyer is not operating. They sent an email saying they're not operating today because Orlando in general is under a shelter-in-place guidance because of all the flooding. So I'm a bit worried we won't have any transport to the airport, but the airport will open and our flight will still run. We'll have to find a way to get there one way or another. So there should be an advisory from Virgin tonight at some point, possibly this afternoon, saying if the flight will run or not. As it stands at the moment, the airport haven't given any statement apart from that they're assessing the damage and if they can open. So this puddle is maybe an inch or two deep, and to get across to the middle, this bit has not been cleared of debris yet. And the rain's picked up. We are still getting the occasional burst of rain, but this isn't like strong hurricane, tropical storm rain. It's just the same sort of rain we get at home. So we're just dealing with it. I've got my poncho on, I'm alright. Just concerned now about this flight tomorrow. Anyway, we're going back to the shop. The lobby and food court are absolutely rammed again because the parks are all closed. There's something going on over there. A vague attempt at entertainment, I think. The food court, from what I can see, still isn't taking mobile orders, so there's massive queues again, as you would have seen in yesterday's video. And we just come in the shop for one last quick look around in here. And back out into the rain. I can't even find my hood. Ah! There it is. Right. Okay. Back out into the rain. I don't know why they're not taking mobile order when next door at Sports they are. It's just a bit too busy to hang out in there, isn't it? So I didn't say you weren't allowed to buy anything else. Buy what you like.
I don't think I need to buy anything else to take home.
Our suitcase space is very limited. You know the struggle we had trying to pull 3 suitcases will be exacerbated by another one. Oh, I don't know what to do now. There's not much really to do apart from go back to the room and worry about this flight for tomorrow. I don't know. Go for a little stroll around in the rain. There's still the occasional gust. It's quite strong. I feel like I should do the Weather Channel style, where I'm battling against it, walking along, and there's people in the background just casually strolling past. Yeah, if I face this way, you'll probably get some rain on the camera lens, but that's alright. I feel like perhaps this isn't going to be a very exciting video, but this is the reality of the situation. This is what it looks like. It's day 2 of Hurricane Ian, which is now gone. It's a tropical storm, which we're still just about in the area of. Yes, Robin? It's a good holiday. It has been a good holiday. It's been a really, really fun holiday. It's a shame we lost our last 2 park days. Yesterday was going to be Magic Kingdom, although we did manage to get most of what we wanted to do done, apart from Big Thunder Mountain. We'll do that again another time. I'm sure we'll be back at some point. We missed a few things at Hollywood Studios. We were supposed to be there today, but you know, it is what it is. At least we saw Harmonious for our last sort of thing in a park to do, which is a nice way to end the theme park element of this holiday. Saw a squirrel. A noisy squirrel. Throughout the storm there was a squirrel, must have been just outside our door, screaming. Could be the same one. There are a lot of squirrels around these parts though. Back to the room until further notice. I'm hoping I get an update from the airport and from Virgin Atlantic fairly soon, because I don't really want to have that anxiety over me of what's going on. I'm back out the room. Time now, it's about 4:30. Virgin Atlantic have said they are running their flights tomorrow. Orlando Airport haven't put a statement out yet. They said they're still assessing the damage. Virgin seem to think they're coming anyway. I assume there are conference calls going on at high levels, and Virgin wouldn't put that out unless they were confident they'd be able to run. Who knows? Tomorrow we'll go to the airport, I guess. I hope the Sunshine Flyer runs and takes us there. Otherwise we've got to find another way. Anyway, I'm just going over to the Rock building because we're packing up to go home, and we've got quite a lot of bottles of water and fruit left that we can't take with us. So I'm going to drop them off to my friend who's staying here for a bit longer, and I'm sure she'll put them to good use. We have come out again. It's 6 PM now. I did go back into the room for a little while before coming back out, and we are in a car park. I haven't been this way yet. This car park goes to All Star Movies. We're going to go over there. The food court is almost the same as the one at Music where we're staying, but we are something to do, you know. We've been stuck in that resort for 2 days, so since I'm going this way, here is a little glimpse of All Star Movies. So we're coming into All Star Movies. The stairwell's themed to clapperboards, and then there's tools. I think this is it Herbie?
Yeah, love bug.
The Love Bug. So this is the Herbie buildings. And there's the enormous Herbie over there. So that side's got the front end, which appears to be missing a panel. Is that intentional? I don't know. And that side's got the back end. It probably is, looking at it. In the middle here, a photo op with the actual car. So here we've got the Fantasia building. Fantasia on one side and Fantasia 2000 on the other side. This is the first time I've actually been to All Star Movies. I've never seen this before, so you're seeing this the same time I am for the first time. So we've got the broom. 17. It's cold, isn't it? 17 degrees.
Why is it Donald and Daisy?
Why not? Little statue of Donald and Daisy there, and over here you've got toys and things like a Jack-in-the-Box thing over there. The hat, not the same hat that used to be in Hollywood Studios, I hasten to add, but a version of it, I suppose. The pool, which is giving Phantasmic vibes. The pool isn't open. One thing that you can do at All Star Resorts is pool hop between the other All Star Resorts, so we could feasibly have used this pool rather than the ones over at Music. This bit is essentially a replica of what's over at Music and Sports, the big star here, the lobby, the pool bar, food court and everything is all in much the same layout. See how busy it is in here. And the food court is absolutely rammed. It's bigger than ours. Either that or just a different layout. Happy with this? This is what they've got. So they've got the different burgers. That burger and that cupcake. Other than that, it's more or less the same. It's very, very busy in here, and they haven't got mobile ordering, so everyone has to queue up like this. And it's a complete mess. Don't know where you're queuing. So we're in the queue for the burgers bit, which is massive. Stretches around like a little cattle pen and then comes right down here to this little shop bit at the back. And I'm not convinced this is worth doing. From what I can tell, there's a burger they do here that they don't do over there. It's like a bacon cheddar cheeseburger. And I think that's what we're going to be looking at today. But I don't really want to have to stand in this queue for probably well over 20 minutes, half an hour. Then queue again to pay. And then find somewhere to sit. And this is the problem with people not having anywhere else to go. Yeah, so we've decided it's too busy over here. And we're going to go back to our resort and have... I think they actually do the same burger over there. So we're going to go back over to music. Hey, we got a chance to come and have a look at something, didn't we? This is a bit weird because it's all very similar to music, just very slightly different. It's kind of like when you are in a dream and you know you're in a dream and everything's not quite as it should be. The kids are hungry though. I'm going to see if we can get back over to music. It's going to be equally mega busy over at music as well, but at least we can just grab it and quickly get it back to our room. And they might actually have trays at music. They haven't got any trays here. Robin's kicking off because they wanted to eat here, but it's just way too busy. There's very few tables actually compared to music, and it's absolutely rammed as you saw. So plan is to go back to music.
No, I don't want to.
And I apologise for Grumpy McGrumpington here, but that means I get to show you a bit more of this resort though, which is good. So here are some fire hydrants on the stairwells for this building. This is the 101 Dalmatians building, which we're going to cut straight through the middle of on our way back over. So here are two enormous Dalmatians and a TV that you can have for photoing. So this pool is themed to the Mighty Ducks, and so are the buildings around it. So the Mighty Ducks buildings have got the enormous duck hockey mask that you can walk through to get to the lifts and stairs and stuff. All very hockey themed, which is kind of a bit All-Star Sports really, isn't it? Back to All-Star Movies. I don't know. But this way cuts across back to music, which is just over there. And of course the food court here is equally busy and ridiculous. There is more seating in music than there is at movies, so that's an interesting piece of information, but also all of it's occupied pretty much. Reagan is trying to get in the queue for burgers. I don't even know which one it is. This is an absolute clusterfuck, this is. This is an absolute joke. Mobile order, why is it switched off? Make things so much more manageable. So it turned out after that little excursion we got our food from All-Star Music anyway. The queue went reasonably quickly and it was just too busy in there to sit down and eat. Robin had a meltdown. We were sat at a table but they were screaming so loud I just had to bring them out.
started that meltdown that all the movie.
I know, I carried it on. Yeah, they were doing my head in with the screaming, so we had to go outside, and then they calmed down. I went back in, but it was just so loud and echoey and noisy in there. We've decided to get the food to take back to our room anyway, which is fine. So this is our last evening here, our last dinner on Disney property for the time being. Hopefully we'll be able to go down there for breakfast. I don't know, it's probably going to be just as ridiculous down there. But the parks are due to reopen tomorrow. The opening schedule is about to be released. Burgers, chips, chicken, the usual. I'm knackered now. Just come outside the room to do a last little piece to camera for today. So it's pretty dark out here now. It's about 8:30. Virgin have said they're flying tomorrow. Orlando Airport still hasn't put anything out. Disney have released their park openings for tomorrow. They're doing a staggered opening with 2 hours at each park for hotel guests starting at 8, 9, 10 and 11, and then opening to general public 2 hours later at each of the parks. Doesn't matter to us because we can't go to any. But tomorrow is return travel day. Of course I will be vlogging it, so I hope you'll join me for that one. I hope you've enjoyed the series so far, and the last couple of vlogs, which have been very much not what I was expecting when I set out to do this, but you know, it can't be helped. It's a natural occurrence that happened to us while we were here on holiday, so it makes the videos. So that was the second day of hurricane mode here at Disney World. It's all back to normal tomorrow, but we are going home as long as we can get to the airport. Join me for that one. I have no idea what's going to happen. See you then.